What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. I'm at Pac-12 Media Day, as you very well know, as this is episode number 2 of our Pac-12 Media Day special. And in this episode, you're going to hear from Pac-12 South players and coaches, including USC head coach Clay Helton, Utah head coach Kyle Whittingham, and of course, one of my personal favorites and friend of the show, Arizona State head coach Herm Edwards. And since you're here, please leave us a 5-star review on the podcast, rate and review the podcast, and also, subscribe to the YouTube channel because you're here, you're watching it, and we would really love to see that number hit 100,000 during this season. If you like what we're doing, leave us a comment below. All right, let's go talk to the guys. I'm here with USC football players Drake London, Kedon Slovis. Guys, how you doing?
Good, thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm doing great, thank you.
Hey, look, I'm going to start with this. Kedon, how do you feel having the kind of tools that are around you this year going into 2021?
It feels great. I'd love to have a guy like this catching balls for you. But, there's lots of other guys too. I think, we got a bunch of guys from the transfer portal, lots of freshmen coming in, have a few running backs coming in too. So there's lots of talent around us. And as a quarterback, that's something you love to see.
Right on, man. Drake, one of the additions, Malcolm Epps, who is legitimately enormous. What has he done to surprise you so far?
I mean, he's a specimen that can move, and to be able to move that fluently, that big, that's something special. And I'm just excited to see what he can do on the field and bring to our team.
Kedon, I'm going to put you on the spot. When I talked to Coach Helton, friend of the show, he compared your man Drake to Mike Evans. Is that apt?
Yeah, I think that's a legitimate comparison. I made that comparison myself, so I think that's
So he
fair.
stole it from you?
I don't know if you'd say that, but that's what we all say. We're like, man, he's Mike Evans in the making. So I think they've said that since his it's year, because they've always kind of touted Drake from the beginning, and obviously it took people a little bit to kind of see that, but it's all deserved and it's all coming to fruition now.
Drake, how do you feel with that sort of comparison?
I mean, that's big shoes to fill, but I definitely do feel like our body types and kind of the way we play are definitely similar. So, I mean, all I can do is just thank them for giving me that praise.
For both of you, Kedon and then Drake, one of the ways in which we talked about USC going into 2021 is that it's all there for you guys this year, right? Like, all you got to do is put it together. Do you feel that? And if you do, where does it land on your chest? How do you manifest into that experience? How do you really try to take that over and make that your image?
Definitely, and I think that's something we've kind of said all offseason. People ask me about us. We have all the tools. We have lots of talent. Like how we're sitting up front. Defense is coming back. Obviously, we lose a few guys to the draft, but I feel like we replace them pretty well. So I think like you said, we have everyone there. It's just a matter of putting it together and making it work and competing on a weekly basis. There's times throughout my career we've had great games or explosive games offensively, but you have to follow that up every week. So if we can do that every week, I think it's going to be something really scary. But again, that's something you have to do week in, week out, and that's easier said than done.
Drake?
Yeah, I think he hit it on the dot, just being consistent, going 1-0 on each week and just worrying about the next game and just trying to get to that championship.
Okay, fellas, I'm going to pivot to what I think are some fun questions, so by all means have fun with them.
All right.
Okay. Kedon, who was your favorite past college football player?
Oof. There's a lot. Like guys I admire recently, like Joe Burrow, obviously. Okay. I think everyone loved watching Johnny Manziel play and scramble around. But growing up, probably my favorite quarterback to watch were like Matt Leinart and Mark Sanchez were like the guys. And obviously as a Cardinals guy, that's why I love Matt Leinart, is because we drafted him early and I was a huge fan. I actually had a Leinart Cardinals jersey, so that's probably favorite quarterbacks for me.
For me, I mean, it's got to be Reggie. That's the reason that I love USC.
He's not a quarterback though.
No, player.
Oh,
Just
player?
Just
Oh,
player.
man,
Just
okay.
player.
Fine, I'll give you that then.
Yeah. Reggie Bush. I mean, why would I pick a quarterback?
That's fair.
But no, it's Reggie Bush. Watching him before every game when I was little, just seeing him the way he runs. I mean, he was such a sensational player, and that's the reason that I love football and USC today.
Real quick, guys, I put together what I thought was the best all-time Pac-12 offense and defense. Scan that, tell me who I missed. Kedon, you have the offense. Drake, you have the defense. Feel free to switch.
This is pretty good. I'm trying to think. You put Mike Williams on there, I'll give you that. See, I think we should put another. I think Marquise Lee should be on here, but I don't know who you replace him for.
Another speed demon?
Maybe for Brandon Cooks, but I like Brandon Cooks too. Well, I can't replace any SC guys, so.
I can't have 9 SC dudes.
I think you can make an all SC team of all Pac-12 team.
I don't know too much about. I don't really care.
You know what
I mean? Just give me the offense. Give me the offense. I don't care about the defense.
Okay.
This is a pretty great defense, though. I can get behind this. There's nothing wrong with this. This one.
No, yeah, that defense
Drake,
is stout. Imagine going against Troy Polamalu and Ronnie Lott.
Yeah.
Drake,
And you got Terrell Suggs and
Speak
Bruce.
now, forever hold your peace.
I like it.
All right.
I like it.
I will take that. I like it. USC tight end, wide receiver. What are we going to do? We going to say everything?
Wide receiver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wide receiver, Drake London. Quarterback, Kedon Slovis. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Okay. I'm here with USC head coach and friend of the program, Clay Helton. How you doing, Coach?
Doing great. Appreciate you having me. Good to see everybody.
Yeah, right? In person, right?
No question. No question.
Sign me up. I got this shot in the arm right quick so I can do this stuff. No, this is fun. Are you having fun with this team that you put together? The roster is magnificent. I really, really love it. How much fun are you planning to have in 2021?
Well, last year was about being grateful for the opportunity to play, and now going through kind of a full off season with the guys, 8 weeks of strength and conditioning prior to a spring training camp, a great summer conditioning summer program, being around the guys, seeing them bond and be able to be around each other. It's been a lot of fun. Like I said, I don't have a job. I get to wake up and be around the greatest athletes in college football. So it's a good time to be a head football coach, to be able to get back to a little bit of normalcy, get some fans back into the stands, create that great college experience and passion that we all love, and to be around some great kids.
Again, with your roster, the management is awesome. Malcolm Epps, Drake London, Rue McCoy. We can go on. Number 1 player in the country in Corey Foreman. Do you feel any sort of pressure to go get a Pac-12 championship and make it into that playoff this year?
Well, it is USC.
Right.
And so the pressure's there every year, and the standards are there every year. The expectations are there every year. And we all came. Coaches and players, we came to USC to fulfill those standards. We welcome them. So each and every year, it's about getting to that Pac-12 championship game, winning that Pac-12 championship game, and obviously that opens doors to playoffs and beyond. Coming out of last year, the one thing that I really learned, the mindset of our football team was really unique, and I think it was unique for everybody, for other teams also. We had that 1-0 mindset of, hey, you're fighting as hard as you can just to get to that Saturday to play, and everything was so in the moment each and every week, and we really said, okay, let's just focus on getting to the game, focusing on this opponent. Don't look behind, don't look forward, just concentrate on this week, and let's add up those little wins. And we looked up and we have an undefeated regular season, and we're sitting in the conference championship game. So that same mentality is the way we've got to approach it in this season. Even though there's going to be fans back in the stands, a full season, that in the moment mentality I thought really helped our football team last year and really put us into that championship game. Now it's about going to win that championship and fulfilling the expectations that are demanded at USC.
A few fun questions, Coach.
Yeah.
So we'll pivot just a little bit. What was the last job you had before going into coaching?
I was a student athlete. So I
appreciate that you see that as a job.
Yeah, I tell you what, I've been in, this is my 26th year. So you got Kedon and Drake today. I was not as good a player as those two guys. So NFL was not in my horizon. But it was something that I got very fortunate coming right out of college. I had the opportunity to go to Duke University and be a graduate assistant there for Fred Goldsmith. So I walked in at 22 years old, was a GA for 1 year, then a full-time coach the next year, and have been doing it all the way through to now 26 years. So my last job was really being a student athlete and then having the great fortune of being a college coach.
Right on, Coach. I put together what I thought was the best all-time Pac-12 defense and offense. You got defense on top, offense on the bottom. Who did I leave off?
Oh, my goodness. Well, you got Troy on there, who I absolutely love, and Ronnie on there. I absolutely love some of the guys, that are going to be playing here soon. In this season, I think there's some great talent coming in on this season. When I think across the board of guys that have the opportunity maybe to be on this, I have one that's near and dear to my heart that I thought was a really special player, and a Dory Jackson that I absolutely love, that I think would be in consideration. Let me look offensively.
You can hand him one to me if you need to, Coach. Yep.
Oh, you got Reggie. I was looking dead at that. I was looking dead at that. And you got Matty on there. You got Matt Leinart. When I think about the history of those two positions, and the quality of quarterbacks that have been at USC, from Carson all the way on through Matt, through Mark, through Sam, through Cody, Matt Barkley, it's been one of those great traditions. And then Reggie is one of the most special players I've ever witnessed in my lifetime, being on there. I'm partial to some of our wide receivers that we've had in the future. I tell you, one that's going to go down as one of the all-time, I think, consistent players at all levels is going to be Robert Woods. I really do. To see what he did in college, setting the reception record that he did, and then seeing what he's doing in the NFL, he's one of the more consistent players I've ever been around.
Yeah, no.
He did a heck of a job
I
on that.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Shocker, Twitter does not always agree. But, it's interesting the way that you talk about the quarterbacks at USC. This is the way we think about running backs, right? Charles White doesn't make this team. How Marcus Allen doesn't make this team. O.J. Simpson doesn't make this team. And yet, those are the things that I am really thinking about when I think about USC football. And I appreciate that you said Robert Woods, because I am even in high school. Another dude, George Farmar, my goodness, coming out of high school. But no, Coach, I appreciate your thoughts and you sharing those with us both on this list and in this conversation. USC head coach Clay Helton, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Here with UCLA head coach Chip Kelly. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Right on, Coach. I want to start with this. You got Hawaii, you got LSU, you got Fresno State. There are no gimmies on this non-conference schedule.
No.
Do you look at your athletic director and say, hey, can we do something about this?
No, you want to play the best.
Right.
So I think it's a great challenge before you go into league play. I've always thought that the out-of-conference schedule is something that helps you when you get into league play. If you go out there and you line up against a couple cupcakes and your starters don't play past the first quarter, then all of a sudden you get to your first league game and you got to extend it out and play 4 full quarters, and I don't know if you're ready for that. So we embrace it, and we're excited about the opportunity.
You have one of my favorite non-conference games on the schedule, Houston LSU. I understand it's one game for you and one game for your team, but what could a win do for the perception of your program?
We're not concerned with perceptions. We're concerned if we do get an opportunity to play against a really good LSU team, what that's going to look like for us. So we always get prepared for our opponents the same way. We play nameless, faceless opponents. It's about the standard that we are going to play ourselves to, and that's how we ultimately judge ourselves.
And that standard has been rising each and every year. I'm looking at statistics and I'm looking at the trends, and there's going to be some folks that I feel will tell you that you're sneaking up on somebody, but I don't get that sense from you, and I certainly don't get that sense from the last 3 years of watching your program. What do you think you're waiting to see to pop from your players and from your program to get there?
Yeah, I just think it's our next opportunity. Our depth has changed. When we took over, we were under 60 for scholarship players, and now we're finally back up over 80. I think part of that is COVID. A bunch of guys coming back from last year's team. We had 115 kids in spring practice. My first year there, we had 60 kids in spring practice. So the numbers have changed, the depth has changed. So it's just an opportunity to get those guys on the field and see what they can do.
So, Coach, I'm going to pivot to what I think are some fun questions. So by all means, please have fun with them. Can you tell us 3 nice things about your rival?
They live in an unbelievable city, number 1. They're very close to the beach. Not as close as some other schools, but they're close, number 2. And the head coach is a nice guy.
I will take that, Coach. I appreciate that. You've seen the jersey, so I will ask this question. Which fictional football player, movie football player, would you add to UCLA's roster if you could?
Oh, that's a great question. Maybe Willie Beeman. I think he would have been fun to coach.
Okay. Okay.
So he's got some skills. He would have been fun to coach.
Hey, man, the way they ran that option.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, with 6 seconds left. You calling that play with 6 seconds left?
If Willie Beamer's my quarterback, I am.
I like that. I like that. No, I can get behind that, Coach. Man, I should have wore the Beeman jersey.
Yeah.
I got it at the house. So, Coach, a question I've been asking all the coaches, and it's been really revealing. What's the last job you had before going into coaching full time?
I was teaching, so I was at the high school level. Actually taught at a youth prison in phys ed, and was coaching high school ball at the time before I made the jump to go to college football.
What'd you learn about coaching phys ed in a youth detention center?
That there are a lot of kids that need a lot of guidance, and they need a lot of positive role models in their life that can show them that there's a right way to do things. And sometimes kids make a misstep, but that shouldn't define them for the rest of their lives.
How has that helped you in your career in these top-tier programs and even coaching the NFL level?
I think it gives you an understanding of where everybody kind of comes from, and that everybody has a backstory, and that our job as coaches is to create an environment where they have an opportunity to be successful and then get out of their way and let them do that. But I think that's what I think coaching is all about, giving guys a chance to show what they can do.
Right on, Coach. Appreciate that. So I have the audacity to put together what I thought was the best all-time Pac-12 offense and defense. You're looking at the offense first. Tell me who I left off. And you can hand one to me if you need to.
Troy Aikman.
Okay. Why's Troy got to be on that team?
Well, he was number one pick of the draft. Then he's a multiple Super Bowl champion.
Fair point.
Fair point.
Fair point.
And I think he works for Fox.
Well, so does Matt. So does Matt.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay.
I would have had Troy on there.
All right. Get that from you. See, I'm an Okie, and I'm inclined to tell UCLA you're welcome. You're welcome.
I know Coach Donahue would have said that.
Yeah.
That's a good lineup.
Okay.
I would have. Now, I don't know are you saying these as they played in the Pac-12 or their total
As
careers?
they played in the Pac-12.
Okay, because if you said their pro careers, I may throw Richard Sherman in there.
Well, it's a totally different team.
Yeah, I know it's a totally different team.
Yeah, no, but you'd be right.
You went with some young backers, though. There's and Scooby and Evan.
Tackling machines.
I know.
You seen that offense? I need guys that can put dudes on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not saying that.
All right.
Cushing was a pretty good backer now.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
There's some cats in there, but that's a good list. You got Brewski and Haloti, so I don't think you can argue with that. You can't argue with Suggs. He's the all-time sack leader, and then Troy Polamalu and Weddle. That's a good group. That's a good list.
Not bad.
Not bad.
UCLA head coach Chip Kelly. Thank you so much for the time, sir.
Appreciate your shirt.
Okay, I'm here with UCLA players Dorian, Thompson, Robinson, Quantrez. Night, guys, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Right on. Microphone's up. I want to hear you when you speak. All right.
Go.
Dorian, y'all got one of the coolest games on the schedule for me. When you play LSU, how much are you looking forward to that?
You know, that's the game everybody's talking about. It's the game everybody wants to go to. So, you know, we know it's at stake, and we know what's coming, and I think we're going to be prepared for it.
All right. Q, how you feel about playing LSU?
With me, think we just, just do what we do, just come to practice every day, giving our all, and not practicing just because it's LSU, just taking the game as if it was any other opponent, just coming to practice and doing exactly, what we've been told, I think we'll be all right.
Right on. Dorian, having been the quarterback of this program for, we're going on year 4 here, right, as a starter.
Yes, sir.
How have you seen the program continue to get better each and every year? Because I feel like y'all going to sneak up on some people when y'all been building toward this for 4 years.
No, yeah, exactly. And Chip's done a great job. He's brought in the right guys, such as Quantrez. And, we finally got a good team, a very established team, and a mature team. So I'm excited.
Q, who picking off Dorian in practice?
Well, that'll definitely be me. I get at him a little bit. But
He's not able to keep it together.
Can't even say that with a serious face.
this is not about us right now. It's not about it because we know what happened. Like we not about to make this about us. We're gonna go against LSU. I literally do it to this guy every day.
Yeah, he's a headache. He's a problem.
Okay, all right.
But
he's a problem.
too, though.
He's a
Yeah,
problem.
Yeah, he's a problem.
Right. No, he's a problem. We can go with that. We
Okay.
can work with that. I appreciate that. I'm trying to create no fiction here in this little interview with y'all.
Not in here, man.
Nah, he's like, when y'all start camp, that's what my next question.
Friday.
Oh, Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Okay, so you getting it in. Mm-hmm. He said, I'm going to remember this.
Yep. As soon as that whistle blow, it's on crack.
So what have you learned about yourself in these past 3 years?
Let's see. Learned a lot. Really just the process. And going through the process, it's taught me a lot, of how to grow, how to actually be a leader, how to be a quarterback, and all the things that it takes to win football games on Saturdays and Sundays. So.
And Sundays. I see how you snuck that in there.
Yeah.
I get that. All right, I want to pivot to what I think are some fun questions. And Q, I'm going to start with you. Who was your favorite past college football player?
My favorite player past player would definitely be Sean Taylor. We both played safety, and right. I feel like he plays the game with a great passion. A passion that you're supposed to play football with. I watched documentaries. People had great things to say about Sean Taylor all the time. I remember watching a clip. I remember watching a clip. The punter at some team, I forgot what team it was, but he took off running, and Sean Taylor just came down and blasted him. Man, I was a kid then. I was like, man, I want to play football like this guy one day. And I feel like just watching him, it really formed me into who I am today. I feel like we play very similar. With passion, with violence, with just what he brings to the table and to his team, as far on the football end. So Sean Taylor is definitely a player that I grew up watching and wanted to be like.
Right on. Dorian, who you got?
Mine's gonna have to be Braxton Miller over at Ohio State when he played QB. Yeah, I know. Okay. My mom's a Michigan grad, a Michigan fan, through and through. Ooh. Exactly. So every weekend we was watching the big game at the big house. So. Being able to watch him play and how electric he was just made me want to be a quarterback. So,
right on, putting people in the spin cycle. All right, so I put together what I thought was the best all-time Pac-12 offense and defense. Okay. Dorian, you got the offense. Q, you got the defense. Tell me who I left off.
A lot of guys.
Okay, Dorian, tell me who.
Well, we got. I don't see Troy on here.
Troy.
I don't see Troy Aikman.
No, you don't see Troy Aikman.
I
okay.
Know. Yeah,
okay.
No.
Why does Troy need to be on that list?
To me personally, he's the best quarterback to come out of UCLA.
Okay.
Thus far, I will say that.
I love this confidence. I love this.
But yeah, Troy's definitely a guy.
Right on.
Troy's definitely a guy.
Q, what you see?
Let's see. I don't see the guy Quantrez Knight from UCLA.
I don't see that guy.
I don't see him on him, but someone else I don't see is all of these are great names. But I'm not really a huge I'm not really familiar with Pac-12, but if I were to say being that I'm new to the conference. If I were to say you was missing someone, I'd say a Dory Jackson.
Okay.
From USC.
Right.
Dory Jackson, he was all-around player, played both sides of the ball, was very electric in the return game. Feel like he's definitely deserve a spot on this all-time poster.
Now I'll take that. Troy Aikman from Dorian and Dory Jackson from Q. All right, Quantrez Knight, Dorian Thompson Robinson. Thank y'all so much for taking the time.
Thank you, RJ.
Here with Arizona head coach Jedd Fisch. Coach, how you doing?
Doing great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I want to start with whose idea was it to have Rob Gronkowski come out in his 48 jersey and set a Guinness World Record catching a football pass from 600 feet in the air?
It was a collective group of, as we were sitting around talking, and we were making sure that we wanted to really bring energy to our program. And when we were working with a group in Hollywood, they said, one of the things that we do is we set Guinness records. And as we were deciding to hire them, and we were working with some of our alumni to bring them in, they said, well, why don't we have the longest or highest catch ever done? So I did say, well, if we're going to do that, might as well get Gronk to catch it. And we knew that I asked him to come back for the spring game to be an honorary head coach really in like February, and then again in March, and then again and when he agreed to do it, we were able to put it all together and get him out there. And you got to put him in his jersey, right? You can't put him in a Bucks jersey. You can't put him in a T-shirt and shorts. So we said, hey, this will be your last catch that you made at Arizona Stadium. Let's make it a big one.
Right on. No, I had such fun watching that video, and it seemed to do really well, both digitally but also for the brand of your program. How would you describe your program, the way that you want people to perceive it?
Right now we want to talk about a ton of energy and enthusiasm. And that's a big part of what we're trying to get done. We talk about joy. We're obviously Steve Kerr is a big influence to the University of Arizona. And to me personally, and one of his 4 values that he talks about as a team is joy. And we brought that in, and we've brought that energy, and we've brought that enthusiasm for life and enthusiasm for what we're trying to get accomplished. And I want our team to have fun competing. That's what we have written all over our walls. Have fun competing. So there's nothing to say that you can't be the most competitive program in the country. Steve Spurrier, for 12 years at Florida, wrote on the whiteboard before walking on the field, have fun competing. And I think his record was like 121-20. So I'll take that. And I'll take that mentality as well.
Well, I tell folks you're 1-0 in conference play as a head coach in this conference. But also, speaking of fun, quarterbacks coach, New England Patriots, you had a year with Cam Newton. Is there a story you can tell us from that year that we can play in the podcast episode?
Wow. Well, I mean, Cam was as much fun and the best player I've ever coached. I mean, he is phenomenal. And there's times that that one individual story, man, there's so many of them. There was a time, I can tell you there's a great story one time. So I walk on the field, and I used to give these guys a hard time about just about everything. Cam would tell you that I was probably on him for every single thing he did. And we walk out on the field, and I told him he had to be out there early. So I go out there, and I'm talking to Coach Belichick before practice, and I see the quarterbacks out of the corner of my eye talking to each other. And I walk over there, and no one says a word to me. And then we go through the whole stretch, and no one answers a question I ask them. And I go, what is going on here? And the young kid, he said, Coach, Cam said $10,000 to the first guy that doesn't talk to, that goes the whole day without talking to me. And I said, oh, really? Okay. So we go, he throws an interception the very first play of practice. And I go, Cam? And he goes, fine. He goes, I'm just not in it right now. And so he wound up losing the bet. He had to pay himself, and wound up, we got over it pretty quick. But he was just a phenomenal guy to coach, and I just love him.
Right on, Coach. My last question for you, what was the last job you had before being a football coach?
Lifeguard.
Really?
Yeah, I lifeguarded every summer. So my last, without a doubt, I did that every summer from like 16 to 22. And so that was my last job. And then finally I think I lifeguarded while coaching at first. And then finally I was able to not have to do it.
Did you have a Wendy Peppercorn moment, maybe? The Sandlot, Wendy Peppercorn? No? Okay, all right. Dives into the water, fakes being drowning, and then the lifeguard that he has a crush on jumps into the water, and he next with him.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Now I have to watch the movie.
Coach, I put together what I thought was the best all-time Pac-12 offense and defense. This is defense on the front, the offense on the back. Who did I miss?
I love the Arizona guys on here.
Hey, man, Scooby Wright could play.
You might have missed Chuck Cecil, though.
Ooh.
You might have missed Chuck Cecil.
Why should Chuck be on this team?
I think what Chuck did for the game, I think when you think of Chuck Cecil in terms of the toughness that he brought to the game, and when you think of Chuck Cecil in terms of the mentality of starting as a walk-on that was 148 pounds, ending up being a Hall of Famer, college football Hall of Famer, All-American, academic All-American, draft pick, played 9 years in the NFL, really changed some of the rules in the NFL based on how you have to hit and the protection, helmet protection. I just think that he is such a difference maker in terms of his mentality and how he plays.
Right on, Coach. I can get down with a 148-pound anybody as a short king myself. Arizona head coach Jedd Fisch, thank you so much for taking the time, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm here with Arizona players Anthony Pandy, Stanley Berryhill. Guys, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Go ahead.
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I like it. I'm getting there. I appreciate you guys trying to do that all at the same time. I'm logged in, so it's a little bit easier for me. So I want to start with this. How has it been getting to know Coach Fisch? Anthony, you go first.
I think Coach Fisch made it easy for us to get to know who he is as a person and as a coach fast. He shared with us pretty much what his vision is this season and as a coach at the U of A, and it was easier for us to buy into that. So,
Right on. How'd you stand?
Yeah, getting to know Coach Fisch, it's been a smooth transition. He's a very positive coach, very enthusiastic. Players can relate to him. So he's made it a fun experience, and it's been good the last 6-7 months.
So I didn't get a chance to ask Coach Fisch about this, so I'm going to ask you guys. How you feel about your quarterback competition?
we love competition at the U of A, so it's a great thing that we got it.
Yeah, I would say it just pushes each of the quarterbacks to perform, and it brings the best, competition for each champion. So at the end of the day, we'll have the right man for the job.
I like to think so. Stan. All right, I want to pivot to what I think are some fun questions. So by all means, Anthony, Stan, have fun with them. All right. So Anthony, let's start with you. Who was your favorite past college football player?
My favorite past college football player, I'm going to have to go with probably Troy Polamalu.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it the hair?
And that he's Polynesian.
Okay.
Plays with tenacity.
I mean, hey, look, there are other poly players that you could have picked.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, all right. I don't want you to make it sound like he the only one. That's all. That's all I was doing.
Trust me, I know.
Oh, man, he was nice. What you got, Stan?
I'd probably have to go with Michael Vick. Growing up, I played quarterback, so Michael Vick was that guy. I had his cleats. Tried to wear number 7 whenever I could, but yeah, Michael Vick.
See, man, you the first person I've asked that question to who give me Vic, and I had the Vicks too, right? With the high top, man.
Yeah, me and my dad both had them. He had the turfs and I had the cleats.
Oh, man, I need to get the turfs.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm out here trying to play football in
It
these
was
cleats.
crazy.
Stop. No, it ain't funny. He's shaking his head. I appreciate that. Okay, Anthony, who on the team would you most want to date your sister?
I gotta think about this one long and hard. Let me see. None of them.
None of them?
I wouldn't trust one person on the team, no.
Wow. Okay.
Not one.
All right.
Especially not Christian Young. Especially not CY.
RJ Rob.
Or who?
RJ Rob.
Okay. All right. You got somebody you would?
Yeah, I'm going to go with DJ Loop, Tyler Lupar. He's one of our punters.
Okay.
He seems like a good dude, so he hasn't shown me nothing yet, so I think he'll be a solid dude.
Yeah, man, everybody picking specialists. Like,
I was gonna say a specialist too, but I don't want no specialist dating my sister, so yeah, I'm good on that.
you don't want no specialist dating his sister.
More like a skill position, you feel me? But no, I don't trust nobody on the team with that.
I appreciate that. All right. Who has the best uniforms in college football? And you cannot say Arizona.
I got mine already.
Go ahead, Anthony.
I like Maryland. I like Maryland's uniforms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what any of that stuff is on the sigils?
No clue.
Okay.
They just look fancy and nice.
It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. Like Stan's pants. It's a lot going on.
Yeah, you like that?
No, I do.
You see
I
his
like
socks
that.
though? He's
I
looking
do
at
like
his socks.
that. No, I do. Ooh, look.
Pac-Man.
We playing Pac-Man.
Had bring them out a little bit.
I love that. I love that. Who got the best uniform?
I'll probably have to go North Carolina for sure.
Ooh.
That baby blue, navy blue, it's hard.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And by the way, y'all the first tandem not to say Oregon.
Of course.
Okay. I'm making sure.
They're hard
crossed
too,
my
though,
mind.
but
He said it never crossed my mind.
they gotta have good uniforms. Phil Knight went there.
Man. All right. So I put together what I thought was the best all-time Pac-12 offense and Pac-12 defense. Some of these players played in the Pac-10, so that's me. So tell me who I left off.
Troy Polamalu.
He on there. You looking at the offense.
Okay.
Oh, I ain't
Yeah.
see him. He big on
Yeah.
top.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, my fault.
Okay. Hey, I got you, mans.
Yeah, you got Teddy on here. Mm-hmm.
Forgot Marcus Mariota.
Over Matt Leinart?
I don't know. Marcus Mariota was cold. I mean, I watched Marcus Mariota more than I watched Matt Leinart, so
So why were you watching more Marcus Mariota?
I was just
Older?
Older,
Okay.
so.
Okay.
Matt Leinart's hard too, though. I watched the little documentary.
You know
about
doggone well I don't need a quarterback with that offense.
that. You
know,
don't. You really don't.
My mama gonna be back there handing it off to Christian, handing it off to Reggie, throwing swing passes.
He got Brandon Cooks on there though. He hard.
Yeah.
He hard. Our coach always talks about him because he played with him, so he always talks about him
Nah, I appreciate that. Tremendous short king energy.
Yeah.
Love that.
like that.
Anthony, switch with him. Give me your thoughts. And no, Troy Polamalu is not on that one.
Okay, let me see.
Ooh, yeah, Tom Casey and Scooby.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, you pretty good.
Yeah.
You're pretty good.
Y'all got some dudes.
Terrell Suggs, hard.
Tell you, man.
Yeah, got some dudes.
Never mind. You say you're gonna run the ball out. You right?
But but hey, look, what you thinking? Tell me what you thinking.
I'm thinking Robert Woods a little bit. He's
Yeah, okay.
balling that.
Oh,
season.
Okay.
Woods.
No.
Dory.
Dory, Juju.
Dory could be on either one of these because he played both ways.
Bruh, ain't that the truth?
He a utility.
I stick him at punt return, and then Anthony's
okay.
sister ain't got nothing to worry
They
about.
can't say nothing
Right.
to him. Special.
He's for sure not getting nowhere near my sister.
Oh my God! All right, Anthony Pandy, Stanley Berryhill.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all so much for taking time.
Appreciate you.
Right on. I'm here with Arizona State players Jay Daniels, Chase Lucas. Fellas, how you doing?
Great, man. How are you?
I'm getting there.
Man, I'm doing good too. Thanks for having us.
I appreciate you guys being here. I want to start with this, Chase. How do you feel seeing your third president as an Arizona State player?
Man, it's a good blessing, man. Honestly, I took my wins, took my losses, but figured like if I could do something real good, it was just to win a Pac-12 championship here and go on to the Rose Bowl and win that here and just become a 4-0 and Chandler and Arizona legend, man. And that's the only thing that came through my mind.
Nah, man, I'm with that. Jay, I want to follow up on that because you made a little bit of noise talking about, hey, I'm trying to get to a Rose Bowl. I'm trying to get a Rose Bowl win. What is it going to take for Arizona State to do that?
For us, I mean, it's just the camaraderie, you know. We want to do it for people like Chase, you know, from the state of Arizona. Coming from Cali, I was always big on, you know, USC, UCLA, you know, SC always winning natties, all that. So going somewhere else, Arizona, where they haven't experienced something like that, I want to be able to give them that feeling of how we felt out here in LA.
So, Chase, as we mentioned, Jaden is going into year 3, which means that the man has still thrown fewer interceptions than he's played years football. I want to know who picking him off in practice.
Man, hey, I'm not gonna lie. I actually was talking to somebody about this the other day. The way he plays in the game is exactly how he practices. You know what I mean? If he sees a bad decision, he's not gonna throw the ball. He's gonna end up running it. You know what I mean? But I love the way he plays. I love the way he practices. I just love him as a leader, man. I'm really blessed to have him as my last year here as my quarterback. And like I said, I think he's gonna do the thing and get what we needed done out here in Arizona.
Jaden, what was it like for you after playing a full freshman year and then trying to get through 2020?
It was hard. I'll say it was hard for anybody on our team, especially. It was a mental challenge, you know. Going out there, you playing a full year, and then you don't know if you playing football, like you got football taken away from you. Plus, we lost that game at USC, and then we come off and we have a month off. So it was a mental challenge, you know. But we're ready to get back out there because everything we experienced last year, we're just ready to play now.
Right on. I would be remiss if I didn't ask each one of you to share a story with us about Coach Edwards, the first time you figured out, oh, Coach Herm, different.
Oh, yeah. He actually, I think the first story I got was when I first met him, and he hugged me, and he was like, man, you know, are you ready for this? And I told him, I was like, man, I'm ready. I'm ready to learn from the best. I'm ready to actually get out there and play. And he told me, he was like, man, you remind me a lot of myself, you know, as a young cat, and I'm just here to help you, and I want to get you into that first round. Well, that was 4 years ago. You know what I mean? I said there's a lot of wins, a lot of losses, but, you know, him sticking through with me thick and thin and just telling me the same thing every year, it's just kind of like a reboot. Like, all right, man, I got to get this done for him. So I think that's probably the best thing about him, man. He just believes in you. If he believes in you, he'll tell you that all the time and do anything for you. So I think that's probably one of my best stories for him.
Jaden?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was back when he was recruiting me, Arizona State. I came in the picture late, but he had came up to my house on a home visit. He sat up there and talked to my grandpa that just passed, and he told my mom, he was like, your baby come here, I got him. I looked him straight in the eyes, and he's been a man of his word ever since. So, you know, he's just a real genuine dude, and he's always looking out for me, looking out for the players. But he always said he was going to have me if I went to ASU, and he ain't lied since.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I want to pivot to what I think are some fun questions, right? So please, by all means, have fun with them. Chase, we'll start with you. Cool. Who was your favorite past college football player?
Favorite past college football player. Well, since I was in high school, I was a running back, man. I didn't switch to DB till college, so I got to go to Cali, man, bro. Reggie Bush. That's
okay.
And plus, I'm probably dating myself. I'm 24. You know what I mean? I feel way older than him, so I got to really see him when I was younger, and I just always looked up to him as like kind of like a college god. Like, he was just one of them dudes that you couldn't be stopped.
See, Chase over here gonna be renting a car to come up to media. James, about you, who was your favorite past college football player?
I would say before I got in college, it was Deshaun Watson. You know, just the way he plays, his style of play, and what he did at Clemson. Hands down, how hard he always played, no matter what the situation was.
Right on. Chase, who on the team would you most want to date your sister?
Michael Turk, hands down. He's probably best punter in the nation. Probably one of the nicest dudes you'll ever meet. And you know, I think he's a real Christian man, and I believe like he would do my daughter good. He would do my daughter right.
Right on.
Yeah.
About you, Jay?
Jeez. I would say I'm gonna piggyback off him. It's not too typical, but Ladarius Henderson. Okay. You know, like you said, a real Christian man. I mean, I lived with him, so I mean, I know how he treats ladies, and I would have a problem with that.
Right on. Chase, who has the best uniforms in college football, not named Arizona State?
I got to keep it in the Pac-12, man. Oregon.
Okay.
That Nike, Phil Nike treating them right up there, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Jaden, what about you?
It's the same with me. You know, growing up, looking up to Oregon. You know, you always want to play in the uniforms, play in that stadium. So I mean, you just can't beat that.
Right on. All right, fellas. So I put together what I thought was the best all-time Pac-12 offense and defense. Take a look at that. Tell me who I missed. Who you taking off? Why? Jaden, you got the offense. Chase, you got the defense. Feel free to switch.
You gotta have C. McCaffrey though. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Man, you would be amazed how many people want to give me static over that.
Nah, you need to put him in there. I think that's good. Brandon Cooks too.
Brandon Cooks did go off. He did with the blend.
Got that short king energy.
He did.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm 5'5" over here. I'm gonna ride for the short dudes. I
love it. No, I think you got this. I think you got the defense good, man. No lie. Terrell Suggs, Scooby Wright. I like all the
man,
names.
People be bagging on Scooby too.
Nah, Scooby was that dude.
Right?
He was that dude. Back in 2014, I'll never forget. He was that dude.
Tackling machine.
Tackling. I think he had like 100 like 20 tackles in one season.
I want to say it was like 149 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, people yelling.
See, at least we know. You know what I mean?
Mike Williams too,
right.
yeah.
Cole, right?
Mike Williams.
Nah, you got this.
Now, Jaden, you got that offense. You got that right. You got running backs. You got wide receivers. Are you handing the ball off more, or are you throwing it more?
I'm throwing it.
Asking a quarterback. I'm asking a quarterback.
They both could catch out the backfield.
I was just gonna say,
They
everybody
both could catch out the backfield.
Everybody making house calls.
Man.
That's actually a really good team.
Right on, right on.
I like that.
Well, Jaden Daniels, Chase Lucas, thank y'all so much for taking the time, and be sure to catch the clip. #1 ranked show, Twitter, social, wherever it is you guys are.
Man,
Thank
appreciate you, man. Thank you for the opportunity.
Here with Arizona State head coach Herm Edwards. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I kind of like your jersey. I was kind of surprised when I walked in. I looked at that dress. And I'm always going to 16 and said, what quarterback wore 16? Right? I was just kind of thinking of that. And you told me.
We'll see.
I saw that movie.
We're going to revisit.
Okay.
We're going to revisit shortly.
Okay, good.
Okay, it's going to be fun. But I want to talk about your team for starters.
Sure.
Right? So I got to talk with Jaden and Chase, obviously 2 leaders on your football
Yes.
team. But I was joking with Chase that, he's on his 3rd president as an Arizona State football player. But what is it like for you to have that kind of returning leadership everywhere?
You mentioned it. Any good team is driven by the players at any level. And you want to hand it to them. And I think that's been the whole basis of what we've talked about when I first arrived there. I said, look, this team needs to be led by the players. I'll give you some direction, but eventually you guys have to have a voice. It's good to have guys like Chase who's been there, who's been in a lot of football games, who knows the conference, knows how important it is to prepare, because historically for us, we've played a lot of young players. We seem to always play, 5. I mean, our first year there, we played 8 freshmen, either side of the ball that had ended up starting. We still have the ability to do that, play a lot of young players, and I think when you leave high school, you go to college, it's a different level, and the skills are fine, the talent is fine, but the work habits, the study habits. And for guys like Chase, who's been there now, understands the importance of that, he can basically kind of tell those guys, look, it's always good when it's coming from a player, a veteran player that they respect, that has played a lot of conference games, right? That, hey, look, we got to do this. So it's great to have his voice a part of our team.
I was joking with Jaden about having thrown fewer interceptions than he's played years of college football. But for you, what's it like to not have to yell at your quarterback about taking care of the football?
Well, that's the first thing we talked about when he first arrived, and to his credit, I told him, look, I'm not going to throw everything at you. I'm not going to ask you to go back, throw 30, 40 passes a game. I said, we're going to run the football and get you used to playing college football. And then the next year, he turns around, I go, okay, go ahead, knock yourself out, go play. And he does a great job of protecting the ball. But I think some quarterbacks just have that DNA. Sometimes he's almost too cautious. Where there could be a play where he could maybe, I don't want to turn over. And I think he understands that in college football in today's world, and even I've grown accustomed to this as well, you got to score points. And the way you score, you got to throw it. You got to throw the ball to score. You run to win, but you got to throw the ball.
Let's say y'all put up some points last year.
Yeah, we did. Okay. But I think when you think about it, you have to be in the high 30s. I mean, when you look at most games, that's how it kind of shakes out that way. It's like when you hear 40 to 48 or 40 to 50, it's like, oh, okay. When I first came into college football, I was like, what? What are we doing? Play defense. Well, you can still play defense, but you might give up 30.
Right.
Right? Because of the way the ball is thrown around and the talent that these young people have on offense. The people that possess the ball, whether it's a quarterback that can run, whether it's a tight end, whether it's wide receivers or runners, these guys are very talented.
I'm also just going to add football slanted to the offense. I'm just going to add that as a caveat.
Well, look, fans don't, they don't come to games want to watch. We live in a world where scoring is important.
Yes.
Right? And anything, right? Scoring is like, now, they want defense the last 4 minutes of the game when you would leave. Defense, stop them. Right? I get that. I understand that.
Okay. Coach, I want to pivot to what I think are some fun questions.
Sure.
First one is, what is the last job you had before becoming a football coach? For you, let's amend that to before you played professional football.
Last job I had. Ooh.
Your last day job.
didn't have a day job because I was in high school. Well, in the summer, right? In the summer, had a job one time when I went to Cal, and it was paving roofs with the tar. And, you know, in the summer job, right? So I go on this job, and I'm excited because, you know, we're going to get paid some money, and I'm excited about going, and error in judgment. I had white Converses on. And so I go, and 20 minutes into this deal, look, I'm not doing anything. I'm the guy that's going to get the buckets and bringing it up on the ladder to the guy on the roof. And I'm looking at my shoes, and they're like they're black, and it was hot. And the tar was heavy. I lasted all of about till 2 o'clock. Then I tapped out. I went back to the office the next day and said, guys, give me a custodial job or something. I said, that tarring thing, I know I'm making some more money, but I'm not built to do that one. That's hard work, man. Hard work.
Very much so. I mean, I'm thinking about Shawshank Redemption, but that's a scooter trail. It's a scooter trail. All right, Coach. I put together what I thought were the best all-time Pac-12 offense and defense. This is the defense.
This is the defense.
This is the defense.
Okay.
Please take a look at that. Tell me who I left off.
Ronnie Lott. Here you go. Eric Weddle. Maluga. Steven Eater. Terrell Sugg. Brewski. Yeah. You got some guys here now.
It's tough.
Yeah.
League's good.
Yeah. Look. It's hard to get them all, but this is a good list now.
Well, take a look at the offense. While you think about the defense.
It'll be interesting if you have my guy there.
Who's your guy? Did I have him?
Mike Williams, Ron Gary, Reggie Bush.
No?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Okay.
Matt Liner.
Okay.
Chuck Muncie.
Why does Chuck need to be on this list?
Well, not because I was on the same team with him.
Well,
just we talking about a big, physical. No one can tackle. No one can tackle. You go watch Pac. We were in the Pac-8.
Right.
You go watch tape against that guy. It wasn't even close. You talking about Jim Brown? He was like Jim Brown in college football in the Pac-8. He was about 6. Chuck was about 6'2", 6'3". I mean, great athlete. Could run, could catch. He was, you know, a bigger guy doesn't give you the wow factor. Like Reggie, I'm not saying Reggie shouldn't be on there. Reggie, yeah, because all this. And
right.
It was one of those, whoa. He's one of the whoas.
Okay.
And could run. I mean, I'm telling you, man, this dude was. He was special now. He passed away, obviously, you know, but he was pretty dynamic. You ought to go back and just, I'm not saying put him on there, but just go watch him.
No, I have my homework assignment, and I will go do my homework.
And you'll be surprised.
Okay.
You'll go, man, this big old dude, man, look at this guy. He's just different.
All right.
Different cat.
Arizona State head coach, Herm Edwards. Thank you so much, Coach.
God bless you. Thank you.
Here with Colorado head coach, Carl Durrell. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm getting there. Like, how's it for you being able to come to media days, in as much as you want to come to media days?
It's been fun.
Okay.
It really has been. We missed it last year.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't have to do any of these things,
Right.
and actually we missed a lot of things that we probably should have been doing just to kind of bring the season to a start and all that, but COVID kind of got in the way. But we are excited about 21, though. This is a great year.
The athletic director, Rick George, had related a story about your hiring, and that y'all sat and talked on the couch, were interrupted by like a FedEx shipment, and just really got to know each other in a very short amount of time for us, right? But hours for you. And since then, you've had such a calming presence on the program. How did you get all that done? I mean, you go from I'm having a conversation with the athletic director to accepting a job to seeing a program in upheaval to really, hey, we're okay, we're fine, we're going to get it back.
Yeah, that was true. It kind of went through that way. When I talked with Rick, it was a Thursday afternoon. I was in Miami, and it was the week before the combine, the NFL combine was going to start. And I was flying home that night back to Colorado. That's where I have my home. My wife lives there, You know, I was kind of living remotely in Miami with my wife being back in Lafayette. So I was going there for a long weekend prior to flying from Denver to Indianapolis for the NFL Combine. And 3:22 p.m., I get a phone call from Rick George asking if I had an interest in the Colorado job. And I said, well, sure. When do you want to talk? And he said, well, you know, can you get out here, you know, by Friday? I said, well, I'm actually flying out tonight. You know, he said, well, can we meet at your house? So anyway, I'll fast forward the whole story. As you know, he came to my house, we talked for hours, and he offered me the job. And so, yeah, it went fast. It went really fast. And on Monday, you know, obviously I didn't go to the NFL Combine. I was introduced as the head coach at Colorado. And it was a fast whirlwind of information. First of all, we had spring ball that was going to start. This was February 23rd now, okay? So we had spring ball that was going to start March 16th. I haven't even hired staff yet. So you're talking about, okay, what am I going to do to hire this staff? So it's the first and foremost, I wanted to meet every player first before I even thought about coaches. So I interviewed all of our players. So I had 109 kids I had set up interviews for 10 minutes that I did from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And, you know, I did that for about 4 or 5 days. And so once I just wanted to get a feel of those players. What did they thought were the issues of why we struggled, or how can we be better, or what are your hobbies? What do you like to do outside of football? So I kind of wanted to, it was an icebreaker, right, basically. So I went through a week of doing that, then I hired a staff, and then all of a sudden, just when I was finished hiring my last member of my staff, we're about 3 days before spring ball, I get the call from Rick George saying, you know what, we're going to have a student-athlete meeting as a department. We're sending all our players home. So it happened, everything happened really fast. But I bring that up because instead of panicking, which is going back to your original question, instead of panicking about, I have so much to do and now this COVID thing hits and everybody's going home and I haven't even put an offense, defense, or anything together yet, I just kind of took a deep breath and said, well, wait a minute. Everybody's sending their kids home. It wasn't just me. It was everybody. Everybody. So the football, you know, every football program, at least on the West Coast, had to stop. And they sent their kids home. And so I felt at that point I didn't have to panic now. Now it was about, okay, we're gonna be the best teaching staff on Zoom than anybody else. So we just, for the next month and a half while our kids were back at home finishing up school, we taught our football on Zoom. And even though I haven't had an in-person meeting or anything like that until actually the middle of July, it was really the only and best way that we can kind of still get our information taught. Was it the best way in terms of not being able to practice it? Sure, we didn't have the ability to practice it, but it gave us at least a level playing field with everyone else because everyone else was doing the same thing. So we weren't behind anybody, is my point. So the way that we created that edge for ourselves is that we just coached our coaches about, let's do a great job in our presentation. Let's do a great job of showing a video on Zoom and really getting our information in. And then there'll be a point in time when we are able to practice. Let's see what we got then. So when October came, because remember, we all came back in July.
7 months later.
We all thought that, oh, well, here comes the season, and the Pac-12 said, no, you're not playing. And all of us coaches like, what? Right? So we're all upset about that. But it was the right decision. But when we felt that when all the other conferences were still trying to play, quote unquote, trying to play, I think us as a coaching group said, oh, we should probably try to play too. And I think I'm glad, and that was the reason why we were able to come back and at least have some, a 6-game season. But it was, as you know, a difficult year. But I didn't panic about it. I think it was all in our approach. I didn't want our players to think that I was a panic type of coach, their first impression of me. I just wanted them to understand there's a detail of how we do our stuff and that we're not going to have the normal resources, but yet we're expected to play well. So what are we going to do about it? And they responded to it, and to this day, I thank those guys for their resilience, for everything that I've asked them to do, they were able to do it. And it ended up being a positive step forward last year.
So we have been doing this bit here where I put together what I thought was the best all-time Pac-12 offense and defense, and I would like your feedback. I'd like to know who I missed. So you're going to look at the offense first.
I'm not on there. No, that's
well, hey. Nate Landman walked in here and said, "Where am I? I'm not here."
Oh, man. Let's see here. There's some good players. Definitely some really, really good players. Now, I'm going to take you back in the day now.
Okay.
Okay. And because I would agree with most of these, but the most intimidating quarterback in my mind, I don't see him on here.
No, if it's not Matt, it's not there.
Okay. Well, it was John Elway.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a difference maker. And he had a couple good receivers, and he had a good running back because we had his brother in our program, but we had Kevin Nelson. They had Darren Nelson. I don't know if you remember that name or not, but Darren was a prolific running back that led the conference in receiving too. So, but the reason why I say was John Elway. He didn't necessarily have all the talent, but he was a great distributor of getting the ball to his talent. And he can run all the way to this sideline and throw it all the way back across the field 70 yards. I don't know if Matt could have done that.
You got a point there, Coach. Take a look at this defense right quick.
Okay. Now, those are some names I played against. Ronnie Lott, definitely right. Ray, okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back again. There's a couple really good safeties, and one that I played with at UCLA, Donnie Rogers. He was really good.
Okay.
And I felt that he was one of the best in the history of our conference, too.
Wow.
Steve Entman, I definitely remember playing against. Aloti Naga, yeah. Suggs, yeah. No, I would just add that I would say the UCLA safety, Donnie Rogers.
All right. Colorado head coach Carl Durrell, thank you so much, sir.
All right, thank you.
I'm here with Colorado players, Demetri Stanley, Nate Landman. How you guys doing?
Doing great. Yeah, doing amazing. Thanks for having us.
Right on. Off top, you got two outstanding home games in A&M and Minnesota. And for starters, you get to play a full season with Coach Durrell. Like, how does that feel for you? Demetri, you go first.
It's amazing. I love being able to come back to normality, honestly. COVID year was kind of weird. Definitely deprived of a lot of football. And we're coming out with two big games, so I'm excited, to say the least.
Nate, what about you?
Yeah, man, I'm excited to get back out there. End of the season kind of rough way, and excited to just get back on the field and start competing. And for those games, those first couple games, I'm excited just to show the world CU football and what we can do, and kind of put CU back up on the map to be able to compete with those big teams.
I was just going to say, that's what these are, right? These are opportunities for CU to show out, let alone what other people might think. And with that in mind, you had a first-year head coach in a COVID year, right, who came in kind of late. But as this year has gone on, how have you guys got to know Coach Durrell? Matter of fact, I'm going to ask you both to tell me a story that you could tell us about what kind of person Coach Durrell is. Nate, you go first.
The kind of person, first of all, I just want to say playing for Durrell is a great experience. I couldn't be happier with our head coach and the kind of man he is and the kind of direction that he has his program going in. And my little story about Durrell is when I tore my Achilles and everything, he was the first person in my corner and helping me figure out what's the next steps. And, he wasn't looking to have any personal gain or anything. He was looking out for the best intentions of me, and I think that's just a great story for his character and kind of person he is and how he's looking for to put his players first and above his needs.
You straight?
I'm straight.
Okay, all right. I got to ask. You tell me about Achilles, I clinch up. I think most people do too.
Yeah, no, I'm back.
I'm all right.
Good.
I like that. Demetri, you got a story?
I mean, My story is kind of just like an everyday type of thing with Coach Durrell. He's a real passionate coach. Obviously, being a wide receiver coach as a background, he comes up and helps me with a lot of things technique-wise and practice to practice, just helping to teach me new things. And when he came in, I honestly feel like we didn't really skip a beat. I feel like he brought the team together even more, if anything. So I really like the direction he's taking us in, and he's going to continue to do it.
So change the subject to what I think are some fun questions. Again, have fun with them, right? So Nate, let's start with you on this one. Who is your favorite college football player?
Me.
Okay. You got another favorite?
Nate Landman.
Okay, why is Nate Landman your favorite?
All right, my favorite college football player? Let's see.
It's like, you really going to make me drill at Nate Landman like that? Don't do that.
My favorite college football player? Let's see. Man, it's got to be the most person I have fun with. It's Carson Wells playing right next to me.
Okay.
We're playing on the outside. Just because, he's my roommate, the brotherhood we have, and I see the hard work he puts in, so I know what's going into his game, and I think it's just most fun to see the outcome. And I'm there, I'm in live, seeing it come to fruition right there on the field, which is, one of the best things, and celebrating with him. And yeah, Carson Wells is definitely one of my favorite players.
I know, gas up your teammate. I like that. Dimitri.
Well, like he was kind of going in that direction. I think I'm my favorite college football player. I think a person I grew up kind of watching was Leonard Fournette. Heck of a player in college. Kind of just a beast running that ball. And I always remember he was running down the sideline to stiff arm the dude into the ground. Big play. But yeah, that kind of just made me excited to play some college football. So
that dude been 6 foot 230 with a beard since he like 15. Now I'm with you,
Yeah.
grown man.
yeah.
All right, who on the team would you most want to date your sister? Dimitri, you go first.
What I most want to?
You most want to, or least want to.
I can answer the least one.
I would. Least
Keith Miller.
Least want to Keith Miller. Keith Miller not allowed anywhere near my dinner table. Most want to. I would probably say, who's loyal?
Colby Purcell.
No, I'm gonna say Anthony Lau.
Okay.
He's been cut. Yeah, he's been cut for a good time now. I mean, I mess with him. That's my dude. So.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I hope his girl is listening. I really do. She's
Yeah.
gonna like to hear that. All right, fellas. I put together what I thought was the best all-time Pac-12 offense and defense.
I saw this, I think.
Yeah. Nate, you got the defense. Dimitri, you got the offense. Tell me who I missed. I know that y'all are recent additions to the Pac-12, but y'all got it.
I feel like it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, you got Cole up the top.
My boy Reggie, Cat, Christian, Troy,
Scooby. I remember watching Scooby back in the day.
Mike Williams.
Man, I'm catching hell for the Scooby pick from people.
Scooby?
Yeah.
No, I like Scooby.
I do too.
I'll give you some slack for the Evan Weaver just because.
Ooh, okay.
Should be Nate Landman right there. Bro.
Brandon Cooks.
Say it into the microphone.
Should be Nate Landman right there instead
Okay.
of that Cal Evan Weaver, but it's all right. Teddy Bruschi, crazy player.
Gotta have Teddy Bruschi on there.
Ronnie Lott. Yeah, you got 10 out of your 11, man. Maybe some other are missing in there off the top of the head.
I might have to do something to change your mind on this, so we'll see. I
You
like it.
gotta do it quick.
You got a Colorado kid on there. I like it. I respect it.
All right. Dimitri Stanley, Nate Landman. Thank y'all so much for this.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all, man. I'm here with Utah players Britton Covey, Devin Lloyd. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Right on. There you go. There it is.
We gotta run that back.
No, you good. You good. Let it flow. It's all right. Matter of fact, Britton, how does it feel to be on your third presidential administration since coming to Utah?
You know, it feels great. Hopefully applying for Social Security this year. So.
My man.
No, it's great. I love the experience that comes with having been a part of many teams. You know, some teams that have been very successful, a couple teams that haven't performed quite as well later in the season. So I love kind of the experience that has brought me to this team. And it's kind of fun to be one of the older guys now, one of the leaders, because you understand the responsibility that comes with that and the effect that it has on the guys that come in. And I love this program. I love Utah football. And so I care a lot about what happens in the future. So that's given me that kind of feeling for the younger guys of what I hope they get from this year.
I know. Devin, you're one of the many who decided to return to Utah when you could have gone into the NFL draft. What do you know about this team that we don't?
I know that this team is hungrier than ever to get back to the championship and go all the way this time. I know that this team is, tighter than ever as well, just on an individual basis. And everyone just really wants to be here. Everyone enjoys each other's company and just, respects the process and enjoys the process.
Brent, one of the challenges of this year has been getting to know new faces, fully formed football players, but definitely new to Utah. As an older guy, how has it been for you to try to ingratiate yourself with those players and teach them about Utah's culture?
Well, I think that's always one of my favorite things about the start of the season, especially fall camp, is you get 20 to 30 new guys coming in the summer, and they all think they run 4.3s, and they all think they're just they all think they're unbelievable. But then you put the pads on and you see who is real. Right. And it's really fun, kind of being in our stage right now. We have a good idea of what the starters will look like, but there's about 3 or 4 holes every year that are up for grabs. And you like to see what new guys coming in really are like that and can produce, and what surprises there will be. Redshirt freshmen, redshirt juniors, whatever it is. You like to see that at the beginning of fall camp going into the season. So I'm excited to see that.
Right on. Devin, I make the joke that the Okie drill has turned out more basketball players than any other drill in football. But I want to pivot to what I think are some fun questions. Okay, I'm going to start with you on this one. Can you tell us 3 nice things about your rival? And for the purpose of this conversation, your rival is BYU.
3 nice things. So.
Hey, pat him on the back. Good luck, buddy.
Okay, what nice in what aspect?
Whatever nice means to you.
Okay, all right. I'll go ahead and say that they're good people. They do work hard, and they got nice uniforms.
Brendan, what you got? 3 nice things.
Well, keep in mind, I'm the only one of my siblings that didn't go to BYU.
Right.
So
I'm listening pretty closely.
Yeah. Well, they produced a beautiful and amazing girl who's now my wife. So that is the first nice thing. She went to BYU. I grew up right next to the stadium, so I loved their offense in the olden days. I was actually, my favorite player growing up was Austin Collie and Todd Watkins. I don't know if you remember who they were, but
34.
Great receivers.
Yeah.
And then I just have a lot of good buddies on the team. Let's just say that on BYU's team. So those are some nice things. I won't bag on them, but not here.
You can if you need to.
No, I'm good.
Okay, all right. For both of you, Devin, you go first. If you could add a fictional football player to Utah's roster, who would it be?
Fictional football player?
Or movie. Britton, jump in if you need to.
I would say Adam Sandler from Waterboy, but he gotta be on he gotta be like Mr. Insano, 24/7. But I would say him.
Okay. So you and him standing next to each other at the second level.
And Nephi, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Britton, what you got?
Well, I think it'd be pretty tough to tackle Ant-Man. I don't even know if the ref would be able to see when his knee goes down.
No. Somebody that actually played football in the movie. In the movie. Yes. No. He's man said Ant-Man. No, I love that though.
I was literally thinking all these superheroes and stuff. Oh, someone who played in the movie. You gotta go with Petey from Remember the Titans.
Okay.
Petey, running back. Either Petey or Sunshine.
Is he playing offense or defense quarterback?
Well, Petey went in and played defense, and he locked him down.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with Petey on defense. Nickel.
Nickel. Ooh, I like that. It's very specific. Okay, this is what I think is the best all-time Pac-12 offense and defense. Brendan, you got the offense. Devin, you got the defense. Tell me who I left off, guys.
He got offense, huh?
Dang, that's a pretty good team.
Y'all playing a pretty good league.
Well, I like this team because it's who performed well in college, not just in the NFL. Because I think that sometimes when people are talking about great college players, they obsess over who has great NFL careers too much. And that's why I like, because like Matt Leinart, people forget how good he was in college.
Right.
I think this is a pretty good show. I think this is a pretty good offense. I don't know if I'd put anyone else on there, except for maybe Tyler Huntley. No,
maybe Tyler Huntley? Okay.
No, I mean, that's my boy. So.
But if it's your man, that's your man.
It's
I appreciate that.
This is a nice list. I'm not gonna lie though, I might throw Vontaze Burfict on there.
Ooh.
One of them.
Ooh.
The Packers.
As long as he bringing that energy where he over the top looking at Matt Barkley.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think any running back or O-lineman, wants to go against him. But,
the production.
There's still some good backers on here, don't get me wrong.
Production didn't stand up, but I'm with you because I got that picture framed at the house.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorite photos.
Hey, look, if we had special teams on here, Tom Hackett or Mitch Wisnowski would be on there. That's all I know.
One of those two, too.
All right. I'll go with that. Well, Britton Covey, Devin Lloyd, thank you guys for doing this.
Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Here with Utah head coach Kyle Whittingham. Coach, how you doing?
Doing good, thank you.
Right on. So, I love your roster. It's so much fun.
do I.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, and I wanted to ask, how did you go about putting this together? Because there's some kids that played at Texas, some kids played at Baylor, some kids that played at Oklahoma, there's kids that played at LSU, and then you had the guys that were returning for you, like Devin Lloyd, who I am very fond of, and it feels like Britton Covey's been playing football since I was in high school. But
he has.
Okay. So, what is the challenge for you putting together a roster like that?
Well, first of all, when we got in the Pac-12, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, the bar was raised in every area. It starts with recruiting. And we were able to be much more recognized by the athletes and get in more doors and expand our footprint. And that was really the beginning of it. But what recruiting boils down to is evaluation by your assistant coaches. And our assistants have done a phenomenal job of evaluating and projecting talent. That's the essence of recruiting, is projection. Not where is this kid now, where is he going to be in 2 or 3 years. That's our MO. And so fortunately we've been able to take a lot of the 3 and 4 star athletes and work with them and develop them and have some success with them. And so that's what we do. We recruit, develop, and manage. That's what we're all about.
Traditionally, that pipeline has worked in that you have perhaps a year, maybe 2, to grow a kid into your culture, let alone your program. You don't necessarily have that luxury when you're bringing kids in out of the transfer portal.
Right.
So you have to accelerate that process. What does that process look like when you accelerate it?
Well, when you get a kid out of the transfer portal, you expect a ready-made player. It's no longer a development situation. It's an immediate need that needs to be addressed. And so we've had very good luck. I wouldn't say luck. We've had good production out of the portal, and especially this year. Now those players haven't got on the field yet for us, but we're anticipating they're going to be a big help for our team.
You are a stout team in a stout division, let alone a stout conference. How do you keep your kids focused on playing just the one game at a time in 2021?
Yeah, well, our guys, first of all, are hungry to play and hungry to play in front of fans. Last year was such an anomaly and uncharted territory. Nobody had a blueprint for how to handle last year. It was day to day. We were only able to play 5 games. We had 2 games that got canceled the day before on Fridays, which was devastating to our kids. It was the first 2 games of the season. So it was a rough year, but I thought our guys handled it well. And every single one of our guys that were draft eligible decided to come back. And so that says a lot, because we probably would have had 6, 7, 8 guys drafted had they elected to come out. But that tells me that they feel like they have some unfinished business and a very good mindset. And the work habits and the leadership of this team so far through the winter conditioning, spring ball, and now the summer conditioning has been outstanding.
Right on, Coach. I want to pivot to what I think are some fun questions. So by all means, have fun with them. First one is, what is the last job you had before you went into coaching full time?
Wow, you got to go back a lot of years. probably working at a pizza joint in high school. I think I was slinging pizzas and
Okay.
washing dishes and doing all that, and I think that would be my last job because I went right from college football to a short professional career and jumped right into coaching. So,
Were you cooking pieces or were you
I was
slinging
doing it
them?
all. I was
Oh,
doing
wow.
it all. I was doing it all.
Okay, I can get behind that, Coach. You've seen the jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could add a fictional or movie football player to your roster, who would it be?
Who would that be? That's a good question. I would say maybe the Burt Reynolds character from The Longest Yard.
Paul Crewe.
Paul Crewe. Paul
Yeah.
Crewe, that guy.
Yeah, okay. Getting it in for the superstar. I like that, Coach. Can you tell us 3 nice things about your rival?
Who's our rival? We got rivals in conference. We got rivals out of conference.
You know doggone well I'm talking about BYU.
Oh, the in-state game. Okay, gotcha.
He said the in-state game.
Well, the dynamic has changed so much.
Really?
Yeah, because they're no longer in the same conference. We were in the same conference for ever,
Right.
60, 70, 80 years. I can't remember what it was, but so it's changed, and we've started to develop a little bit of a rivalry with USC, Colorado, Arizona State. I mean, there's just been some things that are starting to materialize inside the Pac-12, and so that's why I asked that question. But
I get you, Coach.
But yeah, let's skip to the next question. Because I don't know how to address it. I don't know which way to go with it.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
fair. That's
yeah.
fair. Again, Pac-12 put together what I thought was the best all-time Pac-12 offense and defense.
Okay.
Even watching that league from the outside, what do you think? Who do I leave off?
I like these choices on offense for sure.
Okay. Okay.
You got some old school guys. Ron Yeri, he was a great football player, and of course Matt Leinart. I think you probably nailed it on offense. Defense, Troy, Eric. There's our guy Eric Weddle. Okay, I'm confused here because I don't see Junior Seau.
Why does Junior need to be added?
Oh, he's been one of the best linebackers of all time, not only in the Pac-12. So I would say that he would definitely need to be added to that.
Okay.
So I think that's a good list, but I would definitely add Mr. Seau to that list.
Utah coach Kyle Whittingham, thank you so much, sir.
All right, that was easy.
I thought
Thank
so.
you.
I thought
Okay,
so.
Great.
I thought so. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.